Guy is standing there with a gun pointed in between my boyfriend and I's heads and a baseball bat in the other hand. And then he goes, okay, you guys can get the fuck out of my house now. Before we leave his house, my boyfriend's like, bro, can I at least get the money back? And of course the guy says no. So then I called the cops, and my boyfriend didn't want me to call the cops because he was like, I want to handle it my own way. But I didn't care. That was money that we worked hard for. So I got on the phone with the police. We went down to the police station. We made our statements and everything.
6 years. Held it in. I held it in for the rest of high school until now. I held it in for the rest of high school for the last 5 years until now. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway, I hate you, Debbie. Because why'd you do that? Get help.
Guys, I seriously do not know what to do. Basically, recently I changed schools as the one I used to go to was too far from where I live. And on
I didn't hear that.
Here are strict rules my parents had for me growing up that would throw most normal kids into an insane asylum. The first one being that I had screen time on my phone until I was 18 years old that shut off at 10 p.m. every night. And when I was younger, I had to plug in my phone out in the kitchen, and at one point, all my electronics had to be plugged in the kitchen. Shout out to my mom and dad. This is not a nag at them at all. I was just kind of a wild child, and obviously some of the angle, and they always said it was to keep people out, but I honestly think it was to keep me in. And like, I was never allowed to have boys over without supervision, which is completely understandable, but it's not like you could get away with any of that because we had cameras everywhere. And the cameras really did start going into effect after I got caught sneaking out once. For some reason, my parents are really smart. They're not like old clueless parents. They're like old smart parents that always find out about everything. So the first time I ever snuck out was to see my boyfriend at the time, and when they found out about it, they literally made me go to his house when I was about to take him on a date.
Fucking annoyed. My brother's here. And then she was like, oh, did you bring the guy that you like? And I was like, no. And then I walk into the living room and I see my boyfriend. So I go over and I give him a hug and a kiss, and Rima starts screaming at me. After that, she told her brother that I bullied her so that way he would break up with me. And he did. Story time about how my sister was hooking up with my boyfriend. Little background information, I was 15 and in 10th grade, and I have never had a boyfriend before. Any guy that I was sort of talking to, we never made it out of the talking stage.
I didn't really think much of it. Like, it was just a couple comments here and there. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. Until my friend, Alana, reached out to me and was like, hey, are you getting these comments too? Like, people are commenting on my videos saying I'm copying this girl and I can't click on her account, blah, blah, blah. So whatever, it was super weird. We were both like confused, but we didn't really like think much of it once again. Like, we were just like, whatever, like, it's just like people being trolls or something.
But low-key, I had a really good glow up, so all the hot boys want to talk to me now. And Carson's pretty much still a scumbag. Story time about how my boyfriend almost ruined my relationship with my sister. So a little background information. I was 16, and I was a sophomore in high school at the time. Well, we're gonna call my boyfriend Alex. And whenever Alex and I first started dating, I would literally brag to all my friends about how nice he was, about how he treated me so good. Well, fast forward a few months, him and I were still
For not being hungry at breakfast time or not eating all my food at dinner. I mean, it wasn't because I like wanted to like be skinny or something like that. Like, I was literally just like really little and could not physically eat the same amount as my older brother could. I don't understand how that one is that wrong. And on that note, one time I had some food left that I just like was not hungry at all. Like, I had eaten like so much. So then I said I had to go to the bathroom, then I stuffed it all in my mouth, and then I went. Get ready with me while I talk about how I got blocked by a super famous TikToker. Okay, so I feel like I need to give you a little bit of background for this. I started TikTok in 2019 when I was 14 years old. I basically started out doing POVs, which a lot of you guys may know me from. And if you go to my account, you'll see I have 1.2 million followers, all from my POVs. When I started
mentioned my girlfriend, she got super mad and protective of me. When it got to 2 a.m, we said goodbye to her. But about a week later, in the middle of the night, the office block that we worked in burnt down. It creeped us all out, so a week later we used the Ouija board again near a lake and asked for Quinn. When we got through to her, we asked if she started the fire, to which she responded, yes. About 2 weeks later, I was driving to my girlfriend's house with the board in the back of the truck. I didn't know it at the time, but my girlfriend was...
Because I went and did homework at my job. I worked at Starbucks on Valentine's Day, and I had on like this Lulu set, and I do my makeup every day, so I don't know what he was talking about, but my stepdad basically called my mom and was like, oh, I think she's going on a date or something, because like, she doesn't look like she's just going to go study, because I had on like a nice outfit and did my makeup and everything. Basically, like, think about it, like, maybe she met someone. So my mom called me, and like, she knew that that wasn't the case, because I would be screaming it from the rooftops if that happened to me. But she was like, but that got me thinking that, like, you should probably start putting yourself out there. Like,
my art teacher decided to pair us all into partners and have us do an art project. So I got paired up with Alex. Fast forward, we end up liking each other and we start dating. And usually whenever Rima and I hung out, we would always hang out over my house because she said her family was annoying. And Alex and I would only hang out during school, like for part 2. Part 2 about how I didn't know that I was dating my best friend's brother. So like I said, we always hung out at my house because she never wanted to hang out at hers. But this weekend her whole family was supposed to be gone, so she wanted to...
Somebody called me, so I don't even know where I left off. I think I said, like, fast forward. I didn't talk to my daughter's dad for about like a year and a half, 2 years after the incident. Like, no contact, nothing. Like, it's done. It's done. After I heard that he was vouching to the cops for them to lock me the F up, I ain't never speak to him. I was like, bro, that's crazy because I ain't never call the cops on him. I ain't never try to...
Final point. I don't even know why I said final point, yeah? Is it not a bit embarrassing for you, yeah? This man was older than me by like 2 years. He was older than the girl by like 3 because she was younger than me by like a year. Is it not embarrassing for you, darling? Not only are you messaging this girl from your girlfriend's phone, because you can't even afford to fix your own, you are also asking this girl to pick you up from the airport like you're a fucking bitch. Like you're a little passenger princess. What's going on?
And I was kind of excited because I thought that I had a new best friend. So I said, yeah, later on she comes to my house. I never told her an address or anything like that, so I was very creeped out about how she knew my address. We studied for the test, and she goes, hey, do you want to hang out with Tommy and a few other guys tomorrow? Well, tomorrow was the day that I was going out of town. So she goes, okay, maybe next week. After being out of town, I came back on a Saturday, and the next day I get a text from Tommy, like for part 3. Part 3 about the girl who used me to get with my guy best friend. So like strangers, we took the brownies and then I asked him if I could have a sleepover with one of his daughters. And he was super hesitant at first, but he said that I could only have a sleepover with her if it was at my house and not theirs. Which my mom was completely fine with anyways because she thought that it was a little bit weird that his son had bruises covering his whole body. So that night when she came over to sleep over my house, I asked her how her brother got all those bruises all over his body and she said that he just fell down some stairs. But after that we became best friends. And we would literally hang out like 5 times a week until the one day I knocked on their door.
They trying to be. They trying to be. She wanted me.
I'm too tired. They only let us sleep 1 hour within 24 hours.
I know. I'm so tired too. I could fall asleep right now.
Sophie, no. Sophie, you can't fall asleep. Sophie, no.
Go to sleep. Wake up. Wake up.
5 more minutes. I'm awake.
It's helping me know my way around the school and stuff. Don't worry. They all were like, okay, and I was about to leave the GC. One of them said, still, even if you have a BF, you could still gain feelings. All I'm saying is save yourself before you end up like every other girl. I was confused as to what she meant by that, and before I could ask, I got removed. Right after I got a message from, guess who? Yep, Strawberry. He said sorry for not talking to me right after school as he had basketball practice. And Yuji...
My dad was on the news and now everybody knows my last name. So a little background information. This all happened whenever I was in 6th grade. This all happened on a Tuesday night. So I had school the next day. Well, my dad had went to work earlier in the day. Well, around 10 o'clock at night, we hadn't heard from my dad all day. Which was super weird for him because he was always home around 10 o'clock. And even if he wasn't, he still would have kept in contact with us and let us know where he was at. So at this point, my family and I were really scared, and we're thinking that something happened to him. Your face in nudes. So then me and 3 other people explained to my boyfriend that those were from a while ago. And after that, he just blocked both of them and we're still together. Story time about how I catfished all the popular boys in my grade and they found out about it. So a little background information. I was at a new school. I just started there probably like 4 months before this happened. And I was best friends with this one girl. We're gonna call her Kate. And Kate had a crush on this guy. We're gonna call him Alex. And he liked her back, but she wanted to see if he was loyal. Well, at least that's what it was supposed to be.
Not stop once, and I kept checking behind me because I thought that one of them were gonna pop up behind me. I book it to my car, and my auntie and my grandma were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I just didn't say nothing. I was like, "Oh, nothing." And I'm in the back, and I'm like, "Oh, I was just running down the stairs, y'all." I immediately text my boyfriend. I was actually texting my boyfriend while I was running down the stairs. I was telling him everything. Now let's get into how it gets worse, right? Again, I wasn't really known, but somehow, some way, these
little feeling in my gut, and I'm like, no, like, she couldn't have taken them. We're not even the same size. Like, she's your best friend. She would never steal from you. You're just being paranoid. But fast forward, we go to the haunted hayride thing. We come back. She's gonna sleep over my house. We were talking about something. I can't remember exactly what, but I went in her bag to grab something, and she grabbed my hand and she said, "Do not open my bag." It was her overnight sleepover bag, like her big duffel bag. I was like, oh, like, why? She's like, nothing. I just don't want you going through my bag. And I was like,
So after that, he asked me if I want a drink. And what I could have swore was 20 minutes later, I wake up in an abandoned farm shed with no clothes or anything. So I start screaming my head off. I don't have my phone or anything, so I start to run. And then he grabs me. He says, if you try to run or you try to scream, I am going to kill you. Like for part 2 about how I almost got kidnapped by my online boyfriend. So like I said, I wake up in this abandoned farm shed. I don't have no clothes. I don't have a phone. So I try to run.
And I've never been happier. As sad as I am in the moment about like a little friendship thing, like in the long run, you're going to be so much happier not being weighed down by other people's selfishness. So yeah, peace out. Love you guys. Bye.
Can someone tell me why I can look decently good in a pair of bra and underwear? The second I put on a swimsuit, I'm ugly. I don't get it. Like, a bra and underwear and a swimsuit are the fucking same. I look so bad in a swimsuit. Also, tell me why I tried to buy a swimsuit and it's fucking $7.
Alright, so thank y'all for watching. Bye, pretties and uglies.
Get ready with me to go take a pregnancy test. Oh, my back. My back hurts so bad. Last night was... My girlfriend is very careful, so she doesn't, like, trust those little pee test thingies. So we're going to the doctor to get her an official test. I think I'm going to do strawberry makeup today, which is just, like, half an ounce of makeup on your face, plus a little bit of blush.
And believe it and then come on here and like spill it all. I find out new stuff that I did in high school every single day in my comments, and I try and block all the accounts, but every single day there's new spam accounts that I know are from my school. Even just like on my main accounts, and I know these high school like story times are just opening it up for that because there's gonna be some people that don't agree with me. I'm over high school. I like doing the story times. I know you guys like it. I met a lot of you guys in Grand Haven yesterday and everyone was telling me they love my high school story time, so I'm gonna keep doing them. But you guys always ask me if I was popular.
One of my friend's brothers had his license. So at 11 o'clock after everybody fell asleep, they parked in my neighbor's driveway.
Before everybody fell asleep, I made sure to put my ladder up to my window from my bathroom. And because it was in the back of the house, there were really no cameras around there. Well, skip ahead, I couldn't get down the ladder. So my friend's brother had to come around and try to move the ladder. But I was still too scared to go down the ladder by myself. So her brother crawled up the ladder, and once he was on the roof, he tried to help me get down. Well, then he fell like for part 2. Part 2 about how I almost got away with sneaking.
At theirs, and their parents had like their friends come around too. I would have known him from the time I was like 11, probably to like about 13, 14. Crazy thing is he didn't even use like a fake name. I just completely blocked him from my memory. I even know I was friends with him on there, but then again, like, I never use it, so I never got weird vibes from him when I was young, but I also wasn't surprised when I found out it was him. He was a pretty loud, like obnoxious drinker type guy. Honestly, there's probably so many.
With the entire class. Lisa and her 2 friends were walking behind me. All of a sudden, I felt someone touching my back, like really quick, like ticking, like this. Every time I looked behind me, they were laughing like, like that. And the girl next to me turned around and said, "Can you please stop doing that?" Lisa goes, "Huh? What? We're not doing anything." I said, "Yeah, you are. You're touching my back the entire time." "Oh, what about it? It's funny." That's when I thought I can't take this anymore. I said you were
prostitute. I need to get to know them first, nor your slave. Also, throughout this whole thing, kind of left out this part. She would come to the door and ring the doorbell over and over and over again. Ding, 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 ding. We wouldn't even answer the door. Like we were scared of her, so we wouldn't even open the door. Most of the time we would just stay and hide and be quiet. She would ring the doorbell over and over and over again, yell stuff through the door, and leave these notes. She randomly left a note that had the alphabet on it, and then when we opened it, she stopped using Morse code.
I was like, I actually don't want to be your friend because you were really, really out of order. I go to Manchester for my birthday and I end up having a really, really nice time. And by this point, like, me and her, we're just not friends. Like, she's not in my life no more. I don't care about her, don't think about her. She was only in my life for a short period of time. I'm over it. Fast forward now to New Year's Day 2021. When I say New Year's Day, I mean literally like 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. So literally just after it's hit midnight. When I tell you, my phone starts popping.
Her and I became best friends, we got into the same college, and we were in the same dorm room together. Well, the one day my uncle came to my college to surprise me. I ran up to him, I gave him a big hug, and my best friend was super confused because I had never introduced them. And when I introduced them, there was this weird, awkward vibe. So all three of us went back to the dorm room, and I asked her if it was okay that he spent the night, because I didn't want to be that person to just invade her space. So she ended up saying yes, and eventually we all got really hungry.
Must be the shit if I really claim you. Bust it open, bend over, put my back in it, heat addicted like it got a little.
Me, and my sister got a video of us fighting, so I sent that to them too. Well, since she was 18 and I literally just turned 16, she got 3 months in county jail for minor harassment and minor physical altercations. So in the end, I think I won. Story time about why I will never ever ride in an Uber ever again. So a little background information, I was 16 and in 11th grade. So my parents decided to go away for the weekend. They wanted to go and visit some family who lived like 2 hours away. So I decided that it was a good idea to. After that, I Ubered home from the party. And as soon as I got home, I started crying and I told my older brother about it. So he literally drove us back to the party and beat the absolute shit out of my boyfriend. Well, someone called the cops, my brother spent a night in jail, and my boyfriend got an underage. And my brother won't talk to me now because I'm back with my boyfriend. Story time about how my best friend found out that I hooked up with her boyfriend. A little background information. I was in high school, and I was best friends with this girl. We're gonna call her M. Well, M and I both had boyfriends, and
we didn't even fist fight yet, so that made me swing on him, not gonna lie. I started getting angry because not only were you about to sleep with somebody else, mind you, he already was sleeping with somebody else, but you was going to sleep with somebody else when I was begging for help at that time for your child. Like, I'm over here in debt and fucking can't even get to my job, and you know you're the only person that's watching my daughter at the time, and I needed help with my daughter. Now I gotta listen to my daughter cry asking where her dad is. Literally.
Me down in the kitchen and shaved my hair. Story time about why I will never let my sister pet sit for me ever again. So a little background information, I was 18 and it was the summer before my freshman year in college. And it was towards the end of the summer, so I decided that I wanted to take a vacation with a few of my girlfriends before we all went off to the different colleges that we were going to. And I have a lot of pets. I have 4 hamsters, 2 snakes, a tarantula, 2 birds, and 1 fish. So I asked, she turned into one of those pick-me girls that would always make fun of you in front of other guys, talk crap about you to the guy that you liked. Well, the one day I hear her talking shit about me whenever we were in class, and everybody could hear her. She was literally on the whole other side of the class. And I asked her, hey, like, why were you talking about me? She was like, no, I was talking about a different girl. And I had a pretty unique name, so I was like, who else in the school could you have been talking about? But I just brushed it off. Well, then we were in algebra class and I heard her talk
like of everyone that likes him, and then he chose between them. Like, what kind of guy does that? Ew. When I heard about that, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, and then the second part of drama, I found out yesterday that somebody likes me, and it was just like really awkward, y'all. Because their friend told me. And y'all, it's only my second week of SCAR. And why is there so much drama?
After attendance, we would go to this graveyard right by the track and hook up. Well, the next day we had a meet in our school. So him and I went to the graveyard, hooked up, and that's when it started getting crazy like for part 2. Crazy ass story time about how my best friend's parents walked in on me sleeping with my best friend's brothers. And yes, I said brothers. So my freshman year, I became best friends with this girl. And she had 2 older, hot-ass brothers. One was in college, and one was a senior. Well, it was Christmas.
Says, hey. And I'm like, what's up? They start laughing. I immediately know someone's prank calling me. Of course, I recognize the voice as soon as they start laughing. And I'm like, what are you doing? And how the hell did you come up with that name? Like, seriously, out of everyone, how did you come up with that name? And like, I seriously thought it was this person because I had just seen this person in my Instagram views on my story. But it was my little sister calling me with her friend's phone. Like, what is up with her and pranking me?